What's good, YouTube? And welcome to, we'll get to the cards in a second. The Millennium Ring has dropped, and I think it looks really great. It's had viral reactions online. It seems very popular, and I do hope that the stand is included because I don't have a way to display the Millennium Rod. So please include this in the packaging. But when it comes down to it, if you're shopping on sites like here, Ami, keep in mind, the yen price right now won't be charged to you till later, so actual international rates can end up affecting the final price because you're not charged till order is due. Shipping is a separate charge, and they will have different shipping options, the cheaper ones being snail mail and the more expensive being super fast international. Now let's go ahead and get to the almost cards. The discussion that has been taking over realistically on my Discord, and I'm starting to hear it a lot more, is what's in the Rarity collection, because it's starting to become around the corner. It is in May, and I think that being before the WCQ, that's pretty awesome, and a lot of the actual movement on the market is starting to begin around this. Like, Illusion of Chaos is continuously going up because Magician's Souls is guaranteed to have a reprint in here. Then people are speculating, well, wait, this could be in there too, but it already has a Starlight Rare, but having a Starlight Rare doesn't stop things from being in here, and that continuous conversation is happening with a ton of cards and speculation. Also, you see cards on the market taking a huge dip, like Droll and Lockbird here. Like, look how bad things have gotten for the collector rare, and I will say, for cards that got reprints, Ultimate Rare OTS seemed to perform better in terms of after the fallout. Like, you saw Infinite Impermanence able to rise back, and it stabilized a good bit, but collector rares don't really have that because the collector rare inside of the Rarity collections kind of look better. Instant Fusion's been a huge talk too because it's going up right now, but what if that was in there? So some cards are kind of ignoring that chatter and going up during this current format, and specifically this one's doing very well for itself. We've covered it a couple times, and it's on full buyout mode right now. My thoughts are, I wouldn't necessarily hold back everything because of Rarity collection, but I would take a good long hard look on between the Megatons and this, what could realistically end up inside, and that is a huge pool, so I would be less deep diving into certain things that could appear in here, which is a large variety if I was still being a vendor bro. Now, Ritual Beast, I feel like I said when this was around $3 it was a pretty good buy. Ritual Beast Tamer Elder is really up there in price, towards $20 freaking dollars right now. The lowest are $19, and it even has a sale at that $20 mark, and $18 as all of the near mints have disappeared, and people are even buying the light plays up at $6 at this point. The Ritual Beast getting new support, being around the corner, that kind of stuff. I feel like it's a decent deck, but I don't feel like it deserves this level of hype. So if you have that stuff set aside, seems like a pretty good time to sell it in my opinion, but you could always get those double down buyouts, people rushing in after, but this seems like way too big of a peak to me. Also, Canahawk is starting to go up. This one, I'm surprised it took as long as it did, but it is around that $3 to $4 mark, and that's still, you know, not all that up versus where it was at, but the recognition is there on the deck. Tombox covered the pack bit combos, and this card has had a lot of that potential in there, that player brain in my opinion, and you do see even its secret rare version starting to go up from that coverage. So I would check that out, see if it's for you, but always test before you invest. Make sure what you're buying into lives up to the actual playability and hype for you to actually be using it. But yeah, I read this card and I definitely get why people want to end up going with it, and it did seem like it was very, very slept on. The Bunk is getting a bit of attention from Dynamorphia apparently, and this card is getting bought out once again. Now, I feel like this gets bought out here and there for past format speculation, or, oh, this time it's gonna be good. It's really struggled to find its way consistently through Yu-Gi-Oh history, history into being a huge long-term impact card, but it's still, a lot of people have that fond memory of trying to make it good, or the moments that it did give them their wins, and it has found some success, right? So this card only has its 3 printings, one being a structure deck though, and the holographics are going pretty darn crazy right now for what they are. Nirvana High Paladin secret rares are up in price. This is for 10 pi. Apparently you combo with Secret Village using Ancient Fairy Dragon, then going on up into this. The ultra rare though, very readily available, goes from the past to doing some heavy lifting at times. Like for sets that have failed, they definitely put up a wall of certain cards that feel like they should be penny stonks, but there's just so many of them and it's still too recent that they don't get bought out. So good job giving this card its first reprint and also helping it be cheap, but be aware that the secret rares have skyrocketed up in price in anticipation and for having highest rarity and not being stuck with ultra rares. Elemental Hero Shadow Mist is up in price for the commons on full buyout mode, even surpassing the supers at this point. So hey, sell your commons, get a super rare. But seriously, heroes seem to have so much hype behind them right now, and I feel like it's that Banlist waiting room. I've sold my stuff off, what do I do in the meantime? Heroes, I love heroes, let's play some heroes. And then different pass formats are getting more popular. Could we see the Dark Law stuff? We'll have to wait and see. Also, I was watching Christian, 4-time champs YouTube video over on his win, and there were some standouts to me that have been going down in price, because all the fire stuff is going down in price during banlist speculation, but not everybody's going to rush for the same exact things when a banlist hits. They'll go for the obvious things. So to keep in mind if fire doesn't get hit, because I already think it's going to only get a small slap on the wrist and probably still be the best deck going in the WCQ, Crossout Designator has been coming back down in price, and I guess people are expecting a non-solidified format, but this would be the first one kind of slept on in my mind that people would be grabbing after the fact of what else they're grabbing for their decks. And the second one was Lullaby of Obedience. This reprint isn't going to be mass accessible because it's from the Kaiba suitcase, and that's why the lowest ones are about $20 after this $10 ultra goes away, and the secret looks nicer anyways. But check this out, it's been doing nothing but coming down in price. He side decked it, basically gave it a ton of credit, and said he probably should have mained it this weekend, but the past weekend it can be the best or worst card. But whenever you're able to play it, like, it can even break out of summon limit, and he was very insightful about this card. So this is one I also would be paying a lot of attention to right now. If we end up in fire format for the WCQ, which I still find highly likely, then this is a card to definitely be thinking about banlist day, if not right now while it's already come down in price. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. I've heard a bit of if it's on Market Watch, it's already too late. Yet we were talking about this card at the $3 spike and saying, yeah, that's still pretty cheap. We were talking about Rarity Collection 1 cards, and they've doubled, tripled, quadrupled versus where we were covering them. And I'm one to always own when I'm wrong too. It's not always pat myself on the shoulder, yeah, I was right about that. But when it comes to actually looking at things long term, whenever it's on here, there's still plenty of time for a lot of cards. So a lot of the time we are covering the cards that are already bought out or are reacting to things that have gone crazy in price or dipped in price and discussing those things. But the it's already too late mentality, I'm not trying to make myself more relevant, but you can see the actual results speak for themselves, and that conversation got me a little bit tilted. Thanks for watching, though. Seriously, thanks for hanging out. I love being able to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! For a living and where things are going, and I actually look forward to the Banlist season, WCQ season shakeups, and I just think a lot of people are starry-eyed, where I think fire is still gonna be there.